welcome to our channel, Eat, Drink, Travel. I'm Karen.
I'm Henwood.
And we are doing this video today to tell you about our 2-month trip around the States. If you've been watching our channel, you would have seen that we have uploaded quite a few videos of everyday... We drove all the way from LA to Miami, which was quite a cool experience. And then we flew up to Boston, and then we trained to New York and Philly.
So I guess what we're trying to do with this video as well is to give you an insight to what motivated us to travel the US for 2 months. Now, as you can probably tell by the name, Eat, Drink, Travel, we like nice cocktails, and I like good whiskey, and we like good food, and we like traveling, and that's really what our travel vlog is all about. What attracts us to destinations are the food. That's it. It's mainly the food, and then everything else comes secondary, generally speaking.
And I just wanted to add that our vlog around the States was our first time vlogging, and we were using a GoPro, so audio wasn't great and the image wasn't great. So now that we have a better camera and we've been trying to practice with it, we hope that you will still stick around and watch all our upcoming videos, because they should be better. We have a trip planned to Hong Kong and Taiwan very soon, so stick around for that series.
Yeah, you'll have a lot of good content there.
What we think we did right, or what we have learned, was firstly, what we did right was we hired a bigger car. We didn't hire an SUV big car, but we didn't hire a compact car either. And I think, considering the condition of the roads in the US, some places were really good and some places were really bad. I think it was quite good to have a bigger car, and it was more comfortable considering that there were days where we did drive 9 hours in the day.
So we actually booked a compact at home, and then when we got to the car rental place, then we upgraded to a bigger car. Now, that's the reason why we did that, is because when you book it right from the get-go, you'll pay a lot more than if they try to upsell you on the spot.
That leads me to the second thing. As soon as we arrived, we stocked up on water and snacks. Because we were driving through more rural areas, a lot of country roads, we weren't sure how many convenience stores or gas stations we will pass. To be fair, there were actually enough, but considering that we would stop places for hikes and things like that, having water and snacks was often a lifesaver for us. One of the first things we did on the first day we arrived was we both bought a SIM card with unlimited data. It's fairly cheap. I think it was $70 US each per month, which might sound expensive to some people, but we run a business while we travel, so we do need constant internet, so having the unlimited data was a lifesaver for us.
And we use AT&T as well, because Verizon wouldn't...
Verizon or Verizon, we're not sure how to pronounce it. They wouldn't give us a SIM card. They said that we needed a Verizon phone to be able to have the SIM card, which Verizon is supposed to have better coverage. Another thing we did, and this is what we generally like to do when we travel, we're not the type of travelers that like to see 3 cities in 3 days or 4 countries in 5 days or whatever those tours are. That, not that I'm bagging it, it's just that we like to stay in a place 3 to 4 nights to try and get the feel of the city. So that is what we did. Over the 2 months, we probably could have seen a hell of a lot more of the US if we wanted to, but it would have meant that we would have had a lot less time in each city. And I'm really, now looking back, I think we did it right by staying 3 to 4 nights
in each destination.
At least, in each destination.
Yeah. Because when you arrive somewhere, you've been driving for 8 hours, 6 hours, you're pretty tired, and when you arrive somewhere, you don't have much time. You're probably tired, you're not that motivated to walk around. Sometimes you could be, and that's already a night gone. So having at least 2 or 3 full days is really quite important. So another thing we found that we did right is not trying to pack our trip to each destination with pre-booked activities, because you don't know exactly what's out there that presents themselves when you arrive at a destination. There are a few things that are key that you have to book beforehand because they get booked out, or you have to book them. Things like
Disney World was something, because of how Disney World works and the fast passes, you do need to be quite organized for that.
Yeah.
If you do want to go on the good rides and you want a fast pass for the good rides.
and the Moab, the experience.
Yeah, so and the other thing we booked was in Moab. We booked a river rafting and canyoneering trip,
Yeah.
and it was just a day thing. And the reason why we're happy we didn't do that is because in the past we found that we get overexcited and we book too many things, and then we get there and then we just exhausted and we don't really see too much of the actual location because you're doing all these pre-planned activities. So I think finding a balance.
I mean, making sure that you only book the ones that you know are gonna need booking, because there's, you know, but a lot of things, actually a lot of touristy things, or a lot of activities, not just touristy things, but a lot of things you can do don't need booking. So don't constrain yourself too much with booking it and committing beforehand. Another thing we did right, and I was a big fan of this, I mean afterwards I was just like, wow, that's money well spent. It was really, really expensive, but express passes in Orlando, the Universal Studios specifically Universal Studios express passes is a lot more expensive. But if you're paying all that way, wherever you are from around the world, paying all the way to go to Orlando, to go to Universal Studios, why would you want to stay in line for 2 or 3 hours trying to wait for the best rides? We never waited longer than, I think the longest ride we waited was 20 or 25 minutes at most, and in some rides, like the wait was 2 hours. I did it 4 times in like half an hour because I go to the express lane and I'm in front of the line. So that is well worth it. Another thing that we felt we did right is we picked cities and destinations that appealed to us.
I was going to say, we didn't necessarily do this 100% perfect, but we found in the past if we listen to too many people and their suggestions, you have to kind of see how they travel and the things that they like compared to us.
You know yourself when you're traveling, so you've got to look at what do you like about travel and then pick a destination in accordance to that travel. So I thought we did that right. We picked the cities that we appealed to us. There were a couple of cities that we thought, oh, we'll probably forgo that next time, but we'll take you through that later.
Another thing we did right was I did a lot of research on restaurants, and like we said in the beginning, we travel for food. So I had a list for each city. I had restaurants where I wanted to dine, and then if there was something that I felt like I had to go to, I would, you know, note that this is a must-try place. And I feel that 99% of the restaurants that I researched were excellent. And then sometimes when we were eating somewhere because we're tired and we're here now and let's eat something, often it was really bad.
In LA, what we did right in LA, the last few days in LA, we thought, oh yeah, no, we'll just Uber, but actually you can't because LA is so spread out.
It's so big.
We had a car.
We
had a small car, and that was awesome.
And it was cheap. It was probably cheaper than Uber.
Yeah, it was cheaper than Uber. I mean, if you Uber here and there,
I think it was $40 a day, and we only had the car for 2 days.
2 days, yeah.
Our Uber bill would have probably been close to $200
yeah, it would
for
have
those
been.
2 days.
Yeah, or more than that. I mean, also petrol is cheap in America, so that's not an issue. It's a non-issue, petrol. So that's a good thing. If you're in LA, hire a car.
So this brings us to things we did wrong. Number one thing I think we did wrong, if you are doing a road trip around the States like we did, I would seriously recommend taking roads that are not on a highway. Because of our work, we need internet access. We can't go on roads. We were working while we were driving. So when I was driving, Henwood would be doing work on his laptop in the car. So leading into the next thing that I felt we did wrong, but again we didn't really have a choice, is we would have loved to stay in more off-grid places. So there's a lot of amazing, you know, lake houses and cabins in the wood. Sounds a bit scary.
Yeah, like log cabins.
That I would have loved to stay in.
One thing that we did wrong just once was we ran out of cash on a toll road. Oh man, I don't know, come on America, get your stuff together, get some electronic transactions in there. So we ran out of cash with a toll road. They gave us a receipt. I had to go to the post office and do like a money order. I mean, what are we? Are we in the 1800s?
That's
wow.
what it was called, right?
Yeah, a money order. I went to 1800s for real. But anyway, always have cash with you. And we did this quite well, except for this one thing, because I thought, oh
we
yeah,
literally ran out of
credit
money
card.
that one day.
That one day. And so America doesn't do a lot, like it's still a very cash-centric society.
Yeah.
And so always have cash, always have cash. One thing of note, so we stayed in Miami, and I insisted Miami Beach. I insisted that we stay in South Beach, right in front of the beach, because you know I've seen all these movies and shows with, the beach looks awesome, and I thought I want to be amongst it, you know. But it's like meeting your hero. You end up regretting it because your hero is not as cool as you think. And so you know, I get out of our hotel, and this is a 5-star hotel in Miami, and then there's like a brawl in front there, and it looks like a rap video. It's just very much like, you know, everyone's got grills and jeweled Rolexes and Rolls Royces, and it's like, you know, it's really just too much. It's too much.
It was more of a party scene than what we like.
Front.
It was very...
Yeah. Well, we should have stayed a bit more north, where it's quieter, and then walk to that area, but instead we stayed in that area. It's just so busy. So we stayed a lot in Airbnbs during our trip. Airbnb has been great for us. They're very cost effective, very great value, but we went to one that was super duper cheap. And look, I guess
I don't know why we did it, because it was way cheaper than
everything else
we booked.
I mean, for what you paid for is actually really good, but it just wasn't that good. It was quite, I mean, it just wasn't that good. It was dirty, and it just wasn't comfortable. The bed was horrible. Just watch out. If you see an Airbnb that's really, really cheap, so much cheaper than everything else, question it. Don't think that you've got the lifetime bargain.
So we arrived in the States in the middle of March. The weather was looking quite warm, and I generally look at historical weather records to see what it was like last year so that I can pack accordingly.
Yeah.
So it was much colder when we went to America than what it has been in the past. We mostly packed summer clothes because there were only 1 or 2 places where it was going to be on the cooler side, and boy was it such a big mistake.
Yeah.
I had to get jackets and warm tops, and try buying a jacket in LA, or try buying long sleeve shirts in LA.
It's a challenge. It was on the cusp of turning from, you know, autumn to winter to summer, and so that was quite cold, and that was really unpredictable. We had snow in Moab, for example, and you know, and then you walk down and it's like hot, scorching sun. Another thing that we found we did wrong was we didn't book a cemetery tour, or no, plantation tour.
I thought that we could just go there and do like a self-guided tour, but you can't.
Now, another thing that we felt like, man, we should have diverted more time and resource to that was Orlando theme parks. We were there for 4 days. We did 4 parks in 4 days. Man, that is exhausting. I mean,
and it's not enough.
Man,
and it's not enough at the same time.
It's not enough.
Our time was limited, and we didn't know if we would like it that much. And it's a lot of money to spend. We only booked 2 of the 4 parks, for Disney specifically, and that is a huge regret for me.
I mean, that's only if you like theme parks. Now, not everyone likes theme parks and those kind of attractions. So if you like theme parks, then yes. But if you don't, then this is not for you anyway. So, but yeah, so we should have stayed in Orlando a bit more.
So that is what we did right and what we did wrong. I thought it would be fun if we could each say what our top 3 and our favorite 3,
and
our favorite 3 and least favorite 3
okay, cool.
destinations were.
Oh, you got top 3 first.
Mine, I have to say Orlando. That was one of the places where we went to when we left. I felt like I wanted more. So another one would be Moab. Moab and Utah is beautiful. If you like hiking, or if you like the kind of more desert scenery, it is stunning. And my third one, Boston.
Okay.
So I think I would say Boston, Orlando, and Moab. They're so different from each other, and that's probably why, yeah.
Okay. So my top 3, my number 1 would probably be, look, I'd say Orlando as well, because the theme parks were just exceeded my expectation. The theme parks were just like, I'm a movie buff, I love thrill rides, and that just overdosed me on that, and I love that kind of, you know, multimedia, stimulus multimedia experience. My second best destination, I'd say, is Vegas. I loved Vegas.
Vegas
I
too.
love Vegas. I love Vegas because everyone's out for a good time, and I love cigars and cocktails and whiskey, and you can go anywhere and sit down and have a cigar and whiskey, indoors, outdoors, no one cares. The total opposite back home, where it's like you got to ask them, can you have a cigar?
Home is Auckland, by the way.
Home is Auckland, by the way. And thirdly, I'd probably say my favorite, if I have to pick it, is New York City. I love New York City. New York City to me is just like man's triumph over nature. That's my top 3.
So my bottom 3. This is not that there's anything wrong with this place. I also want to add that I was quite sick for half of this trip. I had a terrible cold and chest infection and allergies, and I wasn't feeling my best. So some of this is not because of the place not being great, it's also just because of my experience of it. So Atlanta will have to make that list. I was quite sick there, and we hardly did anything, and we felt like there wasn't a hell of a lot to do. My next one is a destination that I was really looking forward to, and it looked so vibey to me, and then when we got there it just felt so flat.
What was it?
San Antonio.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, San Antonio. Third one is probably Miami. I think Miami, I had this idea of what it was going to be like, and it was too much of a party atmosphere for me.
I mean, my bottom 3 would be, I have to agree, Atlanta. Atlanta didn't resonate with me. I don't know why. And I would also agree, San Antonio didn't agree with me. I liked Fredericksberg a lot more than San Antonio.
Fantastic.
San Antonio just didn't have the vibe, the Riverwalk. Yes, exactly the same reasons. Just didn't give me that kind of, this is cool. You know, I like walking around here. So my third one would probably be Nashville. Nashville, I don't know why. The main strip of Nashville had a cool vibe and all the side streets and everything, but it just didn't agree with me as much as I thought it would.
I think it's also because he likes fried chicken, and waiting that long in line for fried chicken is just unacceptable.
It's unacceptable. So I love fried chicken, and I was looking forward to Nashville fried chicken, and everyone's going on about Nashville fried chicken is the best fried chicken in the world. Okay, I didn't think it was worth the 2-hour line wait. I mean, it's just all hype and absolutely no delivery.
I feel a bit sad if I think of all the hours we waited for fried chicken.
It actually upsets me when I think about it. It makes me a little bit mad. But yeah, so that's our top 3, bottom 3. Like I said, like everyone will have different opinions, but obviously our experiences are very different. Thank you very much for watching. This is just a little summary of our US road trip. Please hit subscribe and keep track of our new travel destinations that we're about to do.
Hong Kong and Taiwan.
Hong Kong and Taiwan. And if you have any questions or anything like that, please ask away.
Yeah, and I'll put our itinerary down below, and you can, if you have any questions about certain places or driving certain areas, let me know and I can give you all that information.
See you next time, and see you in Hong Kong and Taiwan. Thanks for watching. We're in Auckland today.
And it's a scorcher.
It's a scorcher. Scorcher, mate. Don't say mate.
Why?
Because it doesn't sound right if you say it.
We're in Kiwi land.
That's true.